Story of Banquron, the truth about the light. In the Banquron universe, Bahara and his Banquron ruled. He was one of the surviving foes of Androsica from the last war and the only one to made it to the universe. There he killed Molo and carried and ruled all of Banquron until Angelo defeated and imprisoned him. Now he and his top officers ruled Banquron. Dorothy, one of the Baha's closest officers, is a 60-year-old lady and advisor to Baha. Miss Mystic is another female officer of Baha, but she is very much younger than Dorothy. Mystic is 31 and is a very reckless fighter. Jazaro tops the list of main officers in Baha. He is 31 as well and is a knight of Bahar. He doesn't like the other Banquron power whom they share ownership with in this universe. They are in question to Sibuk Banquron, led by Setlin. The Sibuk are the descendants of the Furbin. The founding Banquron failed with demonic powers. Jazaro suspected that Zetlin might be plotting against them. One day, Baha was visited by Zetlin, who wanted to have a chat with his Banquron counterpart. The two leaders went to the top of Bahar Castle and chatted in the main chamber. What do I owe this unexpected visit, Zetlin? Asked Baha. Zetlin replied, Master Baha, I have come to tell you a story of what the light that made all of this possible came from, or who it came from. Baha interrupted. Yes, indeed, Zetlin replied as he continued on. The great force, the great light, comes from one man. But before I get to that, I must tell you an ancient story that will blow your mind. Now hear this. Before there were time disruptions and other universes, back in the universe, when time was set to soon run out, a great battle unknown to many was happening. This battle happened during the final clash between the Doctorian and the Chaldeans. There were other battles going on back then? Yes, sir. The universe was large, vast, not everything was under the control of an empire. Anyway, the two powers were that of the Sumerians and Lafleurs. What? Shouted Baha angrily. Yes, please, let me continue. Now this Lafleur army was led by Dessa Lafleur, who is a relative of your Andrew Lafleur's grandfather. It's said that she created the multi-emblem they used to stop the stone merchant, who was alive and retreated to the end of the universe to destroy time with the tree of forbidden knowledge. Dessa defeated Sudi, and time was supposed to end, but because of the vastness of the universe and the tree's power, the story of the true utopian story occurred. The rest of the first universe didn't know of the Lafleur's existence, and the many powers of the universe escaped there. The original Dark Evil planet monster within Planet Guardian, Mercantizing Spirit, gained strength after the United Doctor destroyed it. This is how Mercantizing, that you know, came about. Fascinating. Please go on. Yes, as for the Tree of Forbidden Knowledge, it managed to escape Dessa and the Lafleur's and spread its knowledge far and wide, and thus the time disruptions that Sudi himself failed to start began. The Tree of Knowledge is more powerful than I thought. Yes, it is. As a result of its power, the second and third universe came into being, and KGB and Mercantizing connection was formed. Here is where Master Chevalier comes into the picture. Chevalier? What does he have to do with any of this? Let me get to that, old man. This is where you came in. Chevalier, from his stay in the new dimensional planes, saw all of this happen and wanted to use the tree's power to interfere with time and space itself. An example of this is when Dawn was convinced to stay in power by a shadow of Chevalier after he defeated Dark Damien. So that was a different timeline. So Damien was an elder in one of the timelines, and in another, Patterson took his place, correct? Got it, Baha. You are wise. Now fast forwarding to the dawn of the age of Madonia, as he destroyed the Yui Empire and destroyed the tree that was under Ui's care. Chevalier then vowed to replay the events of the true Utopian Chronicles in his own way in order to fulfill the true end of the universe in his own image. So the battle of the Valley of Immortals was to bring the end of the universe then. And he was then supposed to gain power of his direct ancestors, the Daymak powered first spin, civic first spin, and overthrow his two masters, but the LaFleur's won, and put an end to that. Wait, what? Direct ancestors? Was Chevalier forbidden? You're learning. Let me wrap all this up for you. So back to Desert LaFleur, who was also between time and in time, was well aware of Chevalier's meddling in the universe. So she moved to counter him in every turn. Chevalier then made the way for LaFleur Prime to exist, and Dessa made the Rattler's Sword to slay it, and entrusted the Lagoons with that task. Chevalier was responsible for my servitude under Dawn, villainizing Damien and even LaFleur Prime. How is he so strong? So was Mr. Cash's betrayal of Lagoon and rebirthing the universe with the Atlanteans and getting me to join that fool of part of the Plan 2, Zetlin? Well, Mr. Cash is a great man in the great force now, so I guess so. Wow. Go on, Zetlin. Okay, so Chevalier is the grandson of Simnet and the son of Milio and Kelly. This is how he is strong and smart. What? Simnet has a grandson? And worse, it was Chevalier? But how? Well, Milio and Kelly had him in a secret before they were all trapped in Queen Alexa. Milio hid Chevalier in an unknown dimension of his creation. Thus was the birth of the new dimensional planes. But I thought dimensional planes were a part of Banquron's engaging being. It is. Chevalier lose the tree's knowledge and power to learn to make it that way. So the highest true identity. Thus Chevalier was known as the Civic and not a Fairbairn. After hearing all this truth, Baha got on his knees and bowed before Zetlin, as he realized if it wasn't for the Civic first bin, he wouldn't be the man he is today. But Zetlin told him to get up and said that the great force picked him to rule the Banquron, and so he should continue to do so. Then Baal got up and asked, So, is it the tree of knowledge or Chevalier and George him? Zetlin then said, The tree is no longer by our side, as it returned to Scholastical, and it was destroyed. If the tree were returned, it would be the biggest threat to our rule. But Master Chevalier has isolated himself in the Golden Austere Castle for reasons beyond me. So that's it. I'll see you on the battlefield, Baha. What do you mean? My men and I want to test your might. I'll tell you more in time to come. And suddenly disappeared, and shortly after Baha was visited by his former ally, Mr. Cash. Mr. Cash now referred to himself as Lord Cash, and it was he that the secret police followed. Hello, Baha. I see the universe is rightfully yours, said Lord Cash cheerfully. Baha, after learning so much from Zetlin, didn't want to be bothered by Cash, so he got straight to the point. Why? Why has the great power picked you of all people to rule the main universe? So no friendly chatter then? Very well. Then I tell you, it's because I'm loyal. You? Loyal? To yourself, maybe. Please, Baha. When I joined the Atlanteans, I was small-minded and didn't see the full picture of what was going on behind the scenes. It was the great power that turned the Atlanteans prime to evil. Upon my death, by Sigby St. John, I saw the great light and it brought me back here. And now I have come to serve the light and rule the universe. I guess you say this is a time disruption. Well, anyway, I must go on, and the universe to be tamed and the flaws to hunt down from across many universes. So you are tasked with that. Are there any here, Cash? No, your universe is sound and secure. Wait, what about Angelo? Where is he? Well, he's in Candine under chains. The last time I checked. The cowards got him. Those cowards actually got their own universe too? Yeah, it's quite a few of them. But anyway, bye old friend. As Mr. Cash then extended his right hand, Barter sat down and looked at papers ignoring him. Mr. Cash then got a hint and decided to go with. Then he said, I have no hate against you for betraying me in the past. Just know that we are on the same side, haha. Farewell, Mr. Cash. Baha then said. Then Cash disappeared, and then the Baha summoned his officers to prepare for battle against the Civic.